you, Mr. Chairman. And, we've had the opportunity to discuss these issues with the heads of Facebook, Twitter, and Google in the past. And I've asked those CEOs in this hearing room, do you believe you are the arbiters of absolute truth? I was sitting here listening to the hearing and thinking about the hearing even before I came in today, and I kept coming back to this. 1984. The words in this book that George Orwell wrote ring so true when we talk about where we are today with big tech and all the things that have been discussed here, not just 230 protections. Some quotes from that book: we know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. Do you see that the whole aim of Newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? Narrow the range of thought. In the end, we shall make thought crime literally impossible because there will be no words in which to express it. We've seen these arbiters of truth, at least in their minds, with big tech, actually scrub words that can be used on their platforms. I still think that the question before us is social media platforms need to check themselves and understand that they're not gods, little g. They are not arbiters of truth. For the past 2 years, we've seen an unprecedented onslaught from Big Brother tech on conservative thought. It's interesting, Mr. Chairman, we don't see liberal thought suppressed by big tech platforms because Big Brother tech believes they should be the arbiters of truth and they hate conservatives, so they silence us. President Donald J. Trump, using the @Donald J. Trump handle, was the single most effective and most successful social media user and influencer ever. Twitter didn't like his politics so much, so they deplatformed him. I think about this book, a thing called a memory hole. It's a small chute leading to a large incinerator. Anything that needed to be wiped from the public record was sent in the memory hole. Donald Trump's Twitter handle was sent in the memory hole, tried to be wiped. They wanted to make him an unperson, someone whose existence had been excised from the public and private memory. Legislation Democrats are bringing forward is in that same spirit. We know what's best for you, and if you disagree, then shut up. You would allow yourselves to define harm, and conservative thought is harmful to the nanny state. You would allow yourselves to define hurtful, and conservative thought is famously hurtful to the nanny state. As our friend Ben Shapiro said, facts don't care about your feelings. You would allow yourselves to define extremism and then label anyone who opposes you as extremist. That's doublethink. Doublethink in 1984. The act of simultaneously accepting two mutual contradictory beliefs as correct. These are the tactics of the old Soviet Union. The communists there, all dissent must be silenced. And I think we've seen big tech try to silence those they didn't agree with because they blame it on an algorithm or whatever, but truth be known, has been exposed that these efforts were consciously put forward. It wasn't just some algorithm running by AI. You're holding this hearing in that spirit today, the same Soviet spirit in Build Back Better that burdens taxpayers trillions of dollars in new debt, weakens our currency with inflation, harms our people. Same spirit you come today with left-wing government's alliance and left-wing big tech to silence conservatives like you silenced Donald Trump. Think Paul from 1984. Think Paul. It's a newspeak word to describe the secret police of Oceania who are responsible for the detection, prosecution, and elimination of unspoken beliefs and doubts that contradict the party. I would say contradict the liberal thought in this arena. I want to ask one question real quick because I think y'all get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Ms. Frederick, in your testimony, you talk about the pitfall of having Congress try to define harm. One of the proposals we are considering today removes Section 230 protection from companies that use algorithms to promote harm. What are some of the consequences of taking that approach?
So I think it's absolutely worth noting that when Trump was banned from 17 different platforms in 2 weeks, The ACLU spoke out against the ban. No friends of conservatives, right? Angela Merkel spoke out
Where are they
against the
today,
ban.
though? Is what I-
Russian Navalny spoke out against the ban. Russian dissident Alexei Navalny and Lopez Obrador as well. So everybody recognizes the threat of censorship. It's not just Republicans, it's not just conservatives, it's independently minded people who think that our health depends on the genuine, again, interrogation of ideas. Tech companies are not allowing that happen. We need to strip them from immunity when they censor based on political viewpoints.
My time's up, Mr. Chairman. Censorship is bad. We need to keep hollering that from the rooftop. I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired.